Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with another Starcraft 2 replay for you, as once again we have a great strong engagement from South Korea, both players from South Korea, as we have spawning in the lower left in the yellow. It is Solar and his opponent here, the best Terran currently there is. In the upper right in the purple, I believe it is MARU from Onside, so very interesting. I believe a new clan perhaps for him. Let's see how this is going to work out. I believe a very recent replay from September it is going to be here, as both players are all spawning here on Data C. So Terran versus Zerg, it is quite an interesting engagement. Let's just see exactly what they have prepared for us. Still one supply depot is being spawned here for MARU and a barracks, so no intentions for him into going for a proxy barracks. And like I told you in previous replays, it's been quite a long time until I saw MARU to go for those proxy barracks, so he's playing quite safe with a normal build order, supply depot into barracks and refinery. Same can be said here for Solar. He's going for a fast expansion, so no fast spawning pool for him. He's very likely going to continue with his extractor and with his spawning pool very soon. His overlords also scouting, of course, the map. Let's have a look at the rally points. Interesting rally points here for Solar. He's checking, of course, the proximity for those proxy barracks, as many Terrans really like to go into a fast proxy barracks attack. A nice abusement for them. But yeah, like I told you, no such thing for MARU, as yeah, we have indeed that extractor, we have indeed the spawning pool. Let's check MARU really quick. He's adding a reactor towards his barracks, and he's also preparing an expansion here for him. So pretty standard stuff for both players. Both players playing really normally. And let's have a look what exactly their options are going to be. Of course, it's two options for the Terran, if you ask me. First one that is very likely being used by many Terrans, mass Marines with Marauders, so mass infantry with Medivacs, very strong stuff by them. But also other Terrans really like to go into siege tanks with Taurs and even with some battle cruisers, so a mass mechanical build order. Of course, some tanks are much needed for the Terran, as they will be able to back up the infantry in case of an attack. So the Zerg also really like to go for those Zerglings, the Banelings, Vipers, Infestors. Could be a nice addition. And the new meta for the Zergs, I saw that many players really like to go into those Hydras and into those Lurkers, or Roach Ravagers would also be a possibility. So let's see what the options for Solar are, as he's actually going for his second expansion point. So yeah, the pretty standard stuff here for both players. Let's see how this is going to be continuing a factory. So this could be, of course, MARU going for some Hellions early on, a much needed unit in case you want to punish the economy from the Zerg. As well, some Widow Mines could be also made. And we also have the Starport, so you might see a Widow Mine drop. MARU is known for this, but currently is going for some Hellions. So yeah, slowly but steadily closing to the 5-minute mark. Some more mules are being caught. Double gas for MARU. Of course, you can see all the production here in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something, or just in case you want to learn a build order perhaps for the South Korean pros. You can see everything here. So let's see, the first queens will be spawned, of course. Solar going for that creep spread really nicely with the queen eggs on the ground. And yeah, some Marines do move here forward. Some damage is being taken by this one hatchery, but soon it's going to get interconnected with some creep, and even some larvae is being spawned here. So nice job here by Solar, as one Zergling somehow made it here forward and even attacking this one SCV. So he might even try to take it out, so quite a ballsy move here by Solar with one lone Zergling, I believe it was two. And yeah, now we see actually massive amounts of Widow Mine. So this is, of course, what MARU is known for his Widow Mine micro early on. He might try to add 2 mines into this location, perhaps 2 mines in here. He might even go for the main. Let's see what exactly his options are, as the Medivac is ready to pick up the next mine. So around the 4-minute mark, in comes his Medivac ship as he's moving forward, but a nicely placed, nice hidden overlord here into this ledge, sees exactly the move out. So very smart gameplay here by Solar. Knows exactly what is coming towards him. It's either a Widow Mine drop or a Hellion drop. So his defenses should be, of course, online. There are his queens. Let's see if he has some queens here. Just a couple of Zerglings, but one spore is being produced. So yeah, let's just check where MARU is setting. At the same time, of course, he's moving out with his Hellions. He might even try to roast this scrap beetle here. But yeah, let's see, in comes this one Medivac. But yeah, nice reaction by Solar. And a great spot here. Nice spy overload here for him. Seeing, of course, any army move out. At the same time, we have 4 Hellions here, so it could be a double attack. It's very hard to spot this one Medivac. course, attention is being drawn away from Solar, but yeah, in comes the drop. The Medivac already taking quite some damage. Finally, the mines will be bored. Almost, yes, indeed, all of them have been bored, just because the HP from this one Medivac is really low, and so many Zerglings have fallen here for Solar. So nice chop here by MARU with the first blood. But yeah, at the same time, he did lose 2 mines, and now he's moving forward. But Queens are on standby, even this one Spore Crawler, so it's going to be really hard for MARU. Still, he attempts the attack, so much mining time is going to get lost for Solar. But yeah, in the end, he has to pick up. He has to retreat with his one Medivac, and he might even try to snap this one Overlord. So what an interesting move here by MARU. Every unit counts, of course, a lot for him, so yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Let's just check the main. He's going for mass infantry by the looks of it. Yes, he's having 5 barracks and 1 nice hidden armory. The Helens are still in position. He'll try, of course, to deal damage against the economy from Solar, but Solar is nicely defending with his Queens, and now even spreading more and more of those creep eggs around the map, even making it here forward through the middle of the map. So yeah, once again, MARU nicely snapping Overlords with Widow Mines. Very interesting stuff here by him. A great micro, of course, as he's now moving out. So at around the 6-minute mark, he decides to move out with his infantry, with his Medivacs, and he's very likely going to reposition here with those Hellbats on the ground. The Hellbats nicely getting healed here by the Medivacs. So we're moving here forward with MARU, and very likely he's going to scan the area just to try to kill, of course, as many of creep eggs as possible. Moving out forward. And what exactly has Solar to counter this? Some Queens will be, of course, Lynx, should be Banelings, no Roaches, I see. And the amount looking like he's pretty much going to commit here. He's going forward for the economy, for this one hatchery, dealing so much damage with those Hellbats, nicely kiting them back and forth. The Queens are also here in position. Some Marines will fall, but in the end the hatchery has been lost. So interesting enough, Solar not ready for that. A bit of a panic move, perhaps. He should have healed this one hatchery with those Queens. But here in the end, MARU very much showing his presence here, showing his aggression as his infantry level 1s, and that combat shield is going to get finished here for him. So very nice timing push, but here we have Solar with the Zerglings, with the Baning. Still, MARU is going to commit. He knows that his Hellbats are really tanky in the front. And let's see what exactly is going to happen. Quite a strong amount of Hellbats, nicely kiting back and forward. Both players are nicely healing themselves up with Queens, with Medivacs. Still, the spread is very good here by MARU. Solar tries to wait, of course, for a good position. He might try to come in from the back. Very important for the Zerg to have a good surround against the Marines, against those Hellbats, and still the hatchery once again takes damage. So quite hard defense here for Solar. Once again, his hatchery is taking quite some damage. MARU looks like he's pretty much going to commit, but SERRAL is not going to allow him to do this. As they income those Zerglings, but he has still quite a hard game for Solar. Once again, a Queen is getting snapped, the second one here as well. Banings finally all rolling forward, but the kiting is very good. At the same time, in comes Solar, so this was his plans. Moving forward with his Zerglings, with a quite strong force of those Zerglings, intercepting the reinforcements, and now heading straight towards the economy from MARU. So MARU has to very likely retreat back home, as 12 SCVs have already been killed. So Solar, with a very smart move, deciding not to attempt a surround against MARU's units, is heading straight towards this one economy, and a good position here all of a sudden for MARU, dropping all of those Zerglings. So in the end, he should be able to hold, but at what cost? 15 kills, as even more units will fall here. The Widow Mines are getting nice connections. No tanks for MARU, just infantry with Hellbats and tanks. No tanks, Widow Mines. As yeah, in the end, 15 workers have been killed here for MARU. So MARU, of course, investing a lot into this one push, having now only 43 workers. Solar economy is once again being targeted here by MARU, but he has to pick up, just has to please himself with 2 drones. At the same time, another task force is moving out here for MARU straight towards the base, and this one hatchery is really hurt. Perhaps some Queens will have to heal it up. Not that much energy being left, as in comes MARU once again with his Hellbats in the front, with the tankier units and the infantry in the back, but great connections with those Banings. But in the end, some Hellbats are still being left alive. The hatchery is being pretty much targeted now, and no one's still alive, as MARU has to retreat. It's kiting back and forward, the Queens as well. Some Banings are being spawned, so still interesting game. One Queen has been sniped. The second one here as well might fall, even lots and lots of Queens. Once again, showing us MARU, showing us his great micro, and even another Queen, and yet another Queen might get snapped. The hatchery is still alive somehow, as in come the Zerglings. But yeah, those Medivacs are really dealing miracles here, doing miracles for MARU, as finally he has to pick up and still the hatchery will slowly but steadily regenerate at each point. As we're closing at the 10, we're actually going to pass now the 10-minute mark. Quite a exciting game here, great game here by both players. Nice hold by Solar, and that counter attack with those Zerglings was really strong, killing 15 workers. And yeah, MARU still not deciding to make more SCVs. He's going for another push and yet another push. Now he's finally targeting this one hatchery as he's able to take it out. So nice job here by him, as he's now going to very likely regroup, perhaps going for another target, slowly but still just healing up, as Solar once again also preparing a move out with those Zerglings. So his intentions, of course, perhaps to target this expansion point here. Let's just see what exactly is going to happen. The Widow Mine spread is really strong, as MARU once again looking to go for this expansion. More others in the front, Zerglings as well with Banelings. And yes, indeed, in comes the counter from Solar, but there are some units here. There is infantry here, but a good surround. The Widow Mines are not dropped. Finally, MARU is going to drop them. And yeah, now Solar has to retreat. No, he's going straight towards those SCVs. SCVs are pretty much exposed here. Really outstanding job here by Solar, showing us interesting strategy with those Zerglings. But yeah, in the end, MARU is going to be able to hold. However, Solar did force a retreat here by MARU. So nice job by Solar in the end. Finally, MARU has made more workers here, so he knows that if this is going into the late game, the economy is going to be really important for both players. As still he's roaming around with those Zerglings. Tries, of course, perhaps to attack this location, very much exposed location by MARU. And yeah, in comes MARU, but we do have some Hydras, so this seems to be the new meta for the Zergs, Hydras into Lurkers versus the Terrans. And actually most Zergs even like to stay into Hydra, as they can of course target those Medivacs on the air. So really important, and a nice unit to have to attack both air and ground Hydras, just like in Broodwar. Looking like to be the new meta for the Zergs here. So quite a interesting strategy, as at the same time Solar is taking his expansion into this point. MARU has very likely scanned this. He now sees another army move out, so he has to secure somehow this expansion, perhaps with some wall-offs, with some supply depots. And yes, Solar is of course going to buy some time with his move out. MARU on the chase, on the hunt, and yeah, nice job here by Solar, allowing him of course to create more units, more Banelings, more Hydras, as he's able now to regroup and secure this expansion. So really strong stuff here by Solar. Let's have a look. A nice kiting at a good position for MARU. Nice choke point here being found by him, as at the same time he's also moving out with his units here. Not that much here to defend for Solar, and quite a strong infantry for MARU, but he needs to be careful. Banelings are rolling here forward, and yeah, nice stim was by MARU, much needed stim. But in the end, those Hydras in the back are real damage dealers. The Banelings not getting yet any connections, so still a nice micro for both of them. At the same time, those units will also very likely going to get dropped here very close into this location, as MARU just keeps sending out more and more of his forces, more and more of that infantry. Interestingly enough, not deciding to go for tanks, he's going for a Widow Mine build order. Some tanks would also be really much needed for him, nicely hidden in the back perhaps. This could also have been a good position for those tanks, but in the end, no. He decides to go for Widow Mines. I'm sure he has his reasons. And yeah, in comes another strong push, a nice spread by MARU here. And yeah, those Widow Mines in the back, of course, will be trying to lure all of those units into that splash damage. So let's see if this is going to happen here, as Solar is pushing back pretty strong here with just a couple of Zerglings in the front. So very smart gameplay here by him, not taking so much damage out of those mines. But in the end, MARU has found somehow the possibility to drop here into this location, going for this Hydras, then going for the extractor. Nice job as he's cutting here back and forth, and Solar taken quite by surprise here by this drop. A good position being found. He might even try to go for the lair, as they finally income the Banelings and the Hydras in the air. But let's see, yes indeed, only 3 workers have been killed, luckily here, enough for Solar, as MARU prepares another siege towards this expansion point. So Solar pretty much under siege here by MARU. MARU yet not giving up, having so many forces, but they income the Hydras from the back, and they are of course really strong damage dealers, as some Banelings will try to get some connections. But that micro is really outstanding here for MARU. Very hard to execute micro against the Banelings. Still somehow he makes it happen, so he's really fast. Of course, this is why he's the #1 Terran in the world currently. And yeah, his siege just pretty much continues here with the Widow Mines. Perhaps he's going to watch the replay and he might be thinking that tanks would have been a better option, of course. Position here just still looking really strong. And yeah, let's see, nice cutting once again back and forth. At the same time, another task force is being prepared, but yeah, this is what I told you, the Hydros are targeting those medivacs. And yeah, taking so much damage out of those. But in the end, just a lone Zergling here passing by, being surrounded by SCVs. And yeah, so holding this position, the Bane is almost getting some connections. And let's have a look how things are going to unfold, how this is going to continue. Once again, MARU is picking up, he might try to go once again for the main. But yeah, there should be some spores here. There is one spore, even one Viper, so he could use some disease clouds. And let's have the real damage is of course happening here, a very important expansion point. Same time, in comes the drop, the Viper is not reacting yet, so no disease clouds against these medivacs. Of course, Solar is busy microing those units here. Same can be said here for MARU. Hydros are still pretty much alive, and now finally the medivac should be targeted, but yes, somehow Solar will not paying a little bit of attention here, as still he has to of course micro his units here. Disease cloud finally has been casted onto those medivacs, and yeah, in the end Solar is able to hold, but at what cost? His expansion once again has been sniped. And let's have a look at the worker counts really quick. 72 to 62 here. Solar still having more workers, but yeah, he's having such a hard game here versus MARU. It's just MARU is not going to stop, just keeps sending out more and more of those Widow Mines, more and more of that infantry. So quite a hard game here for Solar, and yeah, those Vipers need some more energy. Let's have a look. MARU looks like he's going to go for another attack here into another expansion. Of course, the new expansion is also really important, as the Vipers are sucking some energy just to cast those disease clouds versus the infantry, versus the medivacs. But all in comes the infantry. Solar caught a little bit of guard, as once again he's going to abandon one hatchery, so taking quite strong going off of damage here. But at the same time is countering the expansion point here for MARU. So one of those Zerglings taking out so many SCVs here. MARU caught off guard, caught by surprise here by Solar. Finally Solar being aggressive, and at the same time he's also moving out here into this location. So this time the things have changed. MARU is pretty much under siege just once again. Solar preparing an attack. The Widow Mines all on the ground. We should be able to hold the position. So great counter here for Solar, as all of a sudden MARU has dropped to 54 workers versus the 70 here for Solar. So Solar economies will be much stronger, much more higher than MARU. So MARU needs to pay more attention. He is now expanding all over the place, and yes, still those units of those Zerglings attacking MARU here, proving to be quite a strong and a important message here by Solar, as some mines will be spotted here. So yeah, in comes MARU once again with his infantry. Solar needs to be careful. At the same time, another task force here, but we do have lurkers on the ground. And let's see how this is going to unfold, where exactly Solar is attacking once again. This expansion, we do have some Marines here to defend, just a couple of changelings, and yeah, pretty much exposed expansion once again. MARU is making a big mistake here. He's going to lose some workers, and he's going to be able to clear this out. So yeah, but quite an exposed expansion, as he's being forced to retreat here with his infantry. At the same time, he's once again moving forward. No medivacs this time for him, so he's having to move out without any medivacs. Quite a interesting decision by him. He could be under threat, but of course they have stim. The infantry has stim, as he's nicely kiting back and forth. Finally he's stimming here, but what cost him come the Zerglings. They might get a good surround. MARU once again kiting, and yeah, interesting enough, deciding to go for an attack with no medivacs. Only 3 medivacs being left alive. So this is Solar showing us the strength of those Hydros versus the medivacs. MARU losing more and more medivacs, and a nice defense being formed here by Solar onto the new expansion point. Even some overlords casting some creep on the ground here, perhaps to give more tankiness towards the units. And let's just see what's going to happen here. The MARU has regrouped his units, is now pushing forward with his infantry, nicely spreading into 3 groups, moving forward. Once again, Vipers are in the air. Bane is getting some good connections now, but there's still a large amount of those infantry being left alive here for him. Nice disease cloud onto this one medivac, dealing splash damage, and there's still infantry is being pretty much left alive. Definitely called parasitic bomb, not disease cloud, so sorry about this one. So yeah, Viper, a very important unit, casting that parasitic bomb against those medivacs, and yeah, the lurkers will hold this location. As in comes MARU with his infantry, but he's not paying attention. He's taking so much splash damage here. Finally he's going to be able to push this back, but there's more lurkers in the back. At the same time, still kiting back and forward game here by both players. And yeah, parasitic bomb once again dealing so much damage against the medivacs. So always important to have those vipers in the air versus the medivacs from the Terran, as we finally are closing to the 20-minute mark. So still anyone's game here, very exciting game. MARU having more of a army here versus Solar, but Solar with some great counter-attacking gameplay here with those Zerglings going for the economy from MARU. MARU once again not having any defenses here, just one lone mine dealing good amounts of damage. But yeah, in comes Solar once again attacking those SCVs. Just one Marauder here to defend. MARU is being forced back, and yeah, those Zerglings are really strong moving forward with their upgrades. This is just going to stay here, just going to hunt for some more SCVs. And yeah, every SCV counts a lot at the same time. MARU moves here forward, cancel this one expansion point at the same time. In comes now Solar with a strong push with those lurkers, with those banings on the ground. 27 kills for him. At the same time, MARU is going to commit here, going to snipe the hatchery, so both players are damaging their economies really nicely here. In the end, MARU dropping really low, 38 workers only for him. Solar has pretty much punished him here into the upper part, but at the same time Solar looking like he really wants to finish this game now. He wants to take out the infantry from MARU. As yet there is another event center here, but yeah, Solar also taking this expansion here. So quite an interesting game, very balanced and interesting counter gameplay here, very nice strategic gameplay here by both players. Still anyone's game, a very strong and a very aggressive gameplay here by both players. Let's see what exactly is going to happen now as more and more is being added here by Solar. Solar perhaps going for a nice counter from the back. The medivacs are a little bit low, a little bit late here. Nice parasitic bomb once again. No hydros, just a couple of hydros actually. They might take out the medivacs, so it's really important to have them. As in comes Solar here with his Zerglings in the front. There are some snipers now on the ground. Mines also getting some good connections. In comes the infantry for MARU. But yeah, Solar tries to find a better position for his lurkers. As here 4 SCVs have been killed, so a new attacking point here for Solar, this expansion here. So let's see, lots and lots of lurkers on the ground. Some vipers should be in the air, and lots of hydros here as well for Solar. As yeah, MARU once again preparing a task force to move out to snipe some units. Solar is pretty much regrouping all of his forces here, even some drones are here. But yeah, MARU straight going for this one expansion point, taking it out. In comes the Viper. He might try to cast another disease cloud versus the medivacs. And yeah, Solar has to sadly rebuild this one hatchery, as he's pretty much being supply blocked now. So yeah, MARU pretty much nicely abusing the fact that he has those medivacs, using that stim really wisely. At the same time, there is another expansion point, interestingly enough, nicely being hidden here. At the same time, there is another expansion point for MARU, but Solar answering of course really fast with those fast moving Zerglings on the ground. Same time, rocks have been cleared here. One Marauder really interesting enough floating here away after he's being killed. Yeah, there's this one Marauder. Yeah, let's see who is going to win this game. Actually, we're closing slowly but steadily at the end of the game. Still anyone's game here. As yeah, the Marines, the mines are nicely being triggered here by lone Zerglings and against the base, so we'll get some good connections here versus the infantry. In the end, SERRAL has so many snipers on the ground. Going for those banings, much more efficient long distance mining here by Solar. Very interesting stuff here by him, as so many drones and Zerglings are being massacred by him. In the end, MARU having some snipers on the ground. So yeah, what a crazy game we have here. As yeah, in comes MARU once again. He knows that this has been a new established expansion. In comes Solar. Is it going to be enough here? As once again MARU goes straight for this one hatchery, and yes, be able to snap. As in comes this one Viper, but it's getting snapped. So nice kiting back and forward by MARU being much more faster here. Great reaction here by him versus Solar. Sadly here for Solar, he lost another hatchery, so he has to long distance mine. Yeah, just look at this long train being formed by drones. Just long distance mining everywhere. This is another hatchery, so this could be next point for Solar. Solar still having a strong force here versus MARU's infantry. Just needs to be careful against those mines. And let's see what exactly is going to happen here, where exactly he's going to attack it. Perhaps he's going to try for a surround maneuver, so many lurkers are still being left alive here as he's moving forward, and yeah, in come the Widow Mines once again. The snipers are still being kited nicely back and forth. The lurkers will very likely be their target, and yes indeed, but the Banes are getting some good connections versus the infantry, so they're pretty much sending everything he has, but the buildings are also nicely giving protection here. Still so many Hydras being left alive. Banes and Zergs have been sniped. Yeah, in comes the reinforcements for MARU as he's able to push Solar back actually, and yeah, still long distance mining here for Solar. Quite a crazy long distance mining here for him. MARU will very likely going to be taking this expansion as well, so Solar still on a long distance mining option here. As yeah, in comes MARU once again. He doesn't have so much energy onto those snipers, but yeah, in he comes. He's scanning the front and he's moving forward with his marauders, with his marines. Some lurkers are pretty much exposed here, but this could be a great flank here for Solar versus the units from MARU. Slowly but steadily, once again, snipers will use their ability to take out some units. Still so many medivacs alive. Lurkers sadly not really getting great connections here, and MARU is actually taking this game. So Solar had to GG out, sadly for him. The flank wasn't so good, the lurkers weren't in a good position, and yeah, in the end MARU takes this game. So quite a strong, quite a interesting game here in between the two pros from South Korea. A back and forth game, a very aggressive gameplay here by both players, and yeah, in the end MARU just proving to be a little bit too stronger, even though he hadn't that a good economy here. Yeah, his units just way too much, and interesting enough, he didn't went for those tanks. He actually decided to go for mass Widow Mines, and in the end it did work out for him. So yeah, congratulations for him once again. I hope you guys enjoyed this replay. We'll be seeing you of course in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.